At the right hand of the Father, you are holy, holy, you are holy. Lamb of God, Lamb of God, is seated at the right hand of the Father. You are holy, holy, you are. Lamb of God, say, Lamb of God is seated at the right hand of the Father. You are holy, holy. Bow down and worship Him, worship Him. Oh, worship Him. Bow down and worship Him. Enter, oh Lord, oh enter. We bow down, say, we bow down and worship Him, worship. Oh, worship. We bow down, say, we bow down and worship. Enter in, enter. Oh, enter in. Come on. Consuming fire, sweet perfume. You're awesome, presence. Consuming fire, consuming fire, sweet perfume, sweet perfume. You're awesome, presence. You're awesome. You're awesome, presence. Consuming fire, consuming, sweet perfume, sweet. You're awesome, presence. You're awesome, presence. Fill this room, this is holy ground. This is holy ground. This is holy ground. Say, this is holy ground. Oh, so kind and kind. Consuming fire, sweet perfume. Your awesome presence fill this room. Consuming fire, sweet perfume. Your awesome presence fill this. This is holy ground. Say, this is holy. I've never seen this kind of God before. Oh, that is in the room from me. Nobody can do. They're never gonna make my way. Even when I go, and I'm to my way. Nothing compares to you. How do you see? That is in the room from me. Nobody can do. They're never gonna make So whether you come from anywhere, just say wonder, wonder. Amen. I've never seen this kind God before. Wonder, wonder. I've never seen this kind God before. I've never seen this kind God before. Oh, the things that I do for me, nobody can do. The miracles of my way, He put my nose, and to my way. Nothing compared to you. I've never seen this kind of before. Wonder, wonder. I've never seen this kind of before. Oh, 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 oh. And I feel my somebody put your hands together for Jesus. Amen.
I proved you more and more, more and more. Every day, every hour, Jesus. Oh, precious Jesus. Oh, for grace to trust you more. Great things the Lord has done. I know the greater things He will do. Unto you be the glory. Unto you, oh Lord, be the glory. Habasibrahata. Great things Habarabashataya He has done. Church, let's sing to the Lord tonight. Great things He has done. Greater things I believe that He will do. Oh, to the Lord be the glory. Praise Him. Oh, He, for the last time, great things He has done. Great things, oh, He has done. I know that greater things, wonderful things He will do. Oh, to the Lord, to you be all the glory. Say things, oh, He has done. He's the Alpha and Omega. He is the beginning and the end. He will accomplish it. It's never too late. He will He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He will accomplish it. I know. He will accomplish.
The things you need to be very careful about is when God blesses you. One of the things you need to be very careful about is when butter goes through your bread. And there are many of you forget easily whence thou has come from. There are three things I can never forget in my life. Number one, the Lord my God. Number two, where hence have I come from? I don't forget where I'm coming from. The ugly side of life, the dark side of life, the poor side of life. That That is why I cannot be arrogant. That is why I cannot be prideful, because I remember many years ago on the streets of Accra, I was sleeping on the street and I had no bread and I had no clothes to wear. So I cannot forget whence I've come from. And if you don't know where you are coming from, you would know where you are going to. Say yes. So Ephraim is potential. Now when you read about Saul, you see that Saul had potential. And there are many of you, you are listening to me right now, you have potential. But you see, life don't pay for potential. Life pay for results. Life don't pay potential. Nobody is going to hire you because you're a potential doctor. They will hire you the day you become a doctor. Am I talking to you? So Saul had potential, but it is not enough. You see, when I see this beautiful young lady here, I see she has a potential. When she sang, I could feel the presence of God. Will you put your hands together for her? But that is not enough. Potential does not guarantee her success. She has to be successful. So there's a vast difference between success and potential. And in the middle, I will show you what is in the middle. And many of you have potential to do well in life, like Ephraim. You have so much potential. But potential has to give results. Hillary Clinton had potential to become an American president, but she's not. So your potential does not guarantee you success. Am I talking to anyone? Keep reading for me, Rev. When man had power, the devil by high treasoning arrested man and took the power. So God had to send Jesus to come and reinstate the power. That is why when Jesus was ascending to heaven, he says, occupy until I come. The word occupy means take charge. It means the original jurisdiction that was given to Adam had been restored. That is why Jesus was the second Adam, because he fought what Adam could not fight. And the few similitudes between Jesus and Adam, Adam failed because of food. A bite of apple, 2 minutes of pleasure made him to lose his destiny. And the same food was presented to Jesus in Matthew the 4th chapter verses number 4. And it says, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that cometh out of the mouth of God. Say yes.
Yes.
And there are many of you, you betray God for a bite of apple. You betray God for 1 hour nightclub dance. And there are some of you, you betray God for just 5 minutes of sexual pleasure. There are some of you, you betray God for money. That is why you can't pay your tithe. That is why when you make pledges, you can't honor them, because you are lovers of pleasure and lovers of self. So Jacob the other day, he met God on earth, and earth was for man. The word Adam comes from the original Hebrew word known as Adamai. And Adamai means the owner of the earth, or out of the earth. So Jacob was fighting with an angel who was God himself on the earth. So God was operating out of his zone, because the heavens is the Lord. Work it. Am I talking to anyone? Now watch this so that you don't get confused. So God was not operating in his environment. He was operating outside his environment. So the man Jacob was able to overpower God, because God was operating out of zone. So he said, if you don't bless me, I will not let you go. And then God broke his hip, and the man began to limp. In the midst of the pain, he still shouted, if you don't bless me, I won't let you go. I know you feel the pain. I know you feel the disappointment. I know you feel the hurt. I know you are crying. I know you are not okay, but baby, you can't give up. Destiny cannot end here. In the midst of the pain, keep fighting. In the midst of the pain, keep moving forward. In the midst of the pain, keep going forward. The Bible said, better is the end of a matter than its beginning. It is not how well you start, it is how well you finish. You may not have started life well, you may not have started ministry well, but you will finish, because therefore you and I are surrounded by a cloud of multiple witnesses, and we are all looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. I know you feel the pain. I know you don't have money in your bank account. I know your immigration status is wrong, but keep making it work. Keep pushing. Keep working it. Keep pushing. There is time for everything under the sun. There is a time to be born. There is a time to die. There is a time to weep. There is a time to laugh. Shout, my time is coming. Shout, my season is coming. I feel the pain. I feel the hurt, but I won't quit. I feel the frustration. I will not quit. I feel the pain. I will not quit. I see somebody in pain. I see somebody in tears, but you are still moving on. Shout, I am riding on. Shout, I am riding on. The man was in pain, but he said, I will ride on. Many years ago, I would go to church and the church was empty, and I would still preach, and I would preach like I'm talking to 1,000 people. I used to do rehearsals at Atria Mountains. I used to preach to the trees. When you see a good preacher, ask him what he preached to first. He will tell you an empty crowd. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. And I'll preach and I'll say, trees, hear the word of God, and then there will be a wind. And you see the leaves will be moving. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been to church, and the people I expect them to be in the church, they were not in church. And the people I loved and trusted, they hurt me badly, and they left and they joined my friends' churches, and they went with all kinds of stories, and I will still come. In the midst of the pain, I will still preach. I know you feel the pain. I know you feel the disappointment. I know what you are going through, but keep pushing. I know you feel the frustration. I know you feel the anxiety. I see anxiety in your ears. I see anxiety in your face. I said the pain is there. Keep pushing. I've been into the labor room before, and I see how women get into pain. That is why I vowed never to mistreat a woman on earth, because what women go through to give birth to us is pain. And the more the pain, the higher the contraction. And I hear the doctor says, don't hold back, push. And there is more pain, and the more you push, the more the pain increases. But in the midst of the pain and the push is a baby. Somebody here, you got to push. Your baby is coming out very soon. I said your miracle is coming out very soon. Shout, I am pushing. Shout, I will push. So Jacob, he got an experience with God, and he overpowered God. And God said, what is your name? And he said, my name is Jacob. And God went into heaven and checked into the central processing unit of blessing department, and the name Jacob did not exist. But when he checked curses, limitation, and supplanter, Jacob was there. And God said, I need to shift. Hear me. I don't know the name you carry, but tonight there is a shift. And many of you have names you don't know. There was a day I was looking for a lady in my church and I didn't know her name. So I described it to my protocol and my security people. And I said, get me this woman. I got to pray for her. And the woman was heavily pregnant. And the Lord showed me that there was danger on the pregnancy. And my protocol said, Papa, I don't know her name. But one thing I know is that her car smokes. When she drives, her car smokes. There is smoke. And she began to ask the ushers, she asked the church workers, and everybody knew the woman by the woman whose car smoked. And I said to myself, the woman has gotten a name. That is a name. There was a man by name Timaeus, son of Timaeus. And because he was blind, blind became his first name and Timaeus became his surname. There are many of you, because of what you are going through, somebody got a name for you. They may not say it for you to hear, but when you pass in the church, they have a name for you. In your family, I had an uncle, we used to call him Ejako Nimwe Trimodin. And he never knew that was his name. I went to his church recently in Pennsylvania, Church of Pentecost, and when we were having a chat after the service to preach, and then I said to him, Uncle, when we were growing up, do you know your name? Ejako Nimo Etrimodin. He will never give you. So there are many of you, you got some names, you have no idea, and these names are spiritual, and they have placed a limitation on you. But tonight, I tap into the central processing unit of divine blessings. Your name is changing. I said, somebody here right now, your name is changing, your story is changing, your identity is changing, your miracle is coming your way. Those who looked at you and laughed at you, they will look up to you very soon. You are not the same person anymore. There is a change of name. Say yes. Now, Shalisha is not a place, it is a situation. When you do ancient history of the lands of Israel, Shalisha is supposed to be in the land of Ramatai Zophim, but it doesn't exist. So Shalisha itself is not a location, it is a circumstance of life. And there are many of you, you are here right now under the sound of my voice, and you live in Shalisha. Now, the name originally was Shalisha, but someone by name Jezebel added Baal to Shalisha when Shalisha was discovered, because Shalisha was a place of productivity. And there are many of you, when they saw your star, when they saw your marriage, when they saw your future, they added something to fight it. Shalisha is the originality. You see, the word Baal is an idol. Baal. It is one of the idols that came from the garrison of the Philistines. It is a Philistinian spirit, which is originated from ancient times of Nimrod. Now the Bible says once upon a time a man by name Nimrod lived, and he married his own mother called Semiramis, and Semiramis killed his husband to marry his son, and then this woman gave birth. She fell pregnant, and when she fell pregnant, it was neither Nimrod nor his father's child. This woman was impregnated by the wind and the star. So Semiramis was a very strong demonic presence. The Tower of Baal, in Genesis chapter 11, the word Baal was a referral of submission and authority to Semiramis. So anybody who don't bow to Semiramis will be killed. And that is where the Sassonis and the crucifix was initiated. Because if you refuse to bow down to Semiramis or Nimrod, you will be cut off. So when the Bible said in chapter 6 that they were all with one language, the word language means worship. They were all worshiping Nimrod and his mother, at the same time his wife, Semiramis. So if you refuse to bow down to them, they will put you on a cross, and it is called the crucifix. And they will hang you on the Tower of Babel and make you a sacrifice. So when the Roman Empire took over the world, they borrowed that punishment from the kingdom of Semiramis. So the man Saul was finding a help in life, ending up in a place called Shalisha, but he does not know the history of Babel. And he does not know the history of Nimrod. He does not know the history of Semiramis and Tammuz. The word Baal was made stronger in the days of Jezebel, because Jezebel's father, he was named after Semiramis' tower. So Jezebel's father's name was called Baal. So Baal in the spirit is an ancient demon that has been rejuvenated with time. And the man Saul is looking for help in a land called Shalisha, which is controlled by ancient demons. How can you find the donkey? There are many of us, we are looking for help. We are genuinely working very hard. We are doing all what we can do. But there are ancient histories. Before you marry that man, before you marry that woman, check what their background looks like.